Welcome to the assignment discussion and evidence guidance for the management of human resources, part of the OTHM Level 5 Diploma in Business Management. We'll walk through both tasks and exactly what evidence you need. This discussion will help you understand what's required for Task 1 and Task 2, plan the structure before writing, and use examples, theory and organisational evidence rather than general description. It'll also help you avoid the common reasons for referral, missing assessment criteria, weak examples, poor Harvard referencing, or unsupported claims. The Unit and Assessment Overview. This is a Level 5, 20-credit unit, graded pass or reefer. Task 1 is an essay of 1,500 words, excluding diagrams, references and appendices, and Task 2 is a report of the same length. Both require relevant academic and reliable sources using Harvard referencing. The learning outcomes. Make sure every criterion is clearly evidenced. Learning outcome 1 covers the purpose and objectives of human resource management. Learning outcome 2 covers its operational and strategic functions. Learning outcome 3 covers the internal and external factors affecting HR. And Learning Outcome 4 covers modern developments, including technology, flexible working, mental health, and diversity initiatives. The recommended approach is to use one organisation as your working context. Choose a real organisation you can research properly, such as Tesco, the NHS, Amazon, Apple, Emirates, McDonald's, or a large local employer. And use the same one across both tasks so your analysis is consistent. Bring in evidence from HR policies, recruitment pages, annual reports, reviews and academic sources, and always link theory to actual HR practice. Task 1 is an essay covering learning outcomes 1 and 2. Explain how HR management has evolved rather than just defining it. Discuss its purpose in supporting people, performance and organisational goals, and its objectives, such as recruitment, retention, engagement, compliance, and talent development. Then explain the operational and strategic HR functions, and assess the relationship between business strategy and HR. Here's a practical 1,500-word essay plan, an introduction stating your organisation and what you'll cover. Section 1, the evolution and purpose of HR management. Section 2, its objectives with organisational examples. Section 3, its operational and strategic functions. Section 4, an assessment of the link between HR and business strategy. And a conclusion, a short judgment on why HR is central to organisational success. For criterion 1.1, show the move from traditional personnel administration to strategic human resource management. Cover changes such as paper-based records giving way to HR systems, reactive hiring becoming workforce planning, and compliance-only HR becoming an engagement and performance culture. For example, explain how a retailer moved from basic staffing to data-driven scheduling, training, and retention, and support it with academic HR theory. For criteria 1.2 and 1.3, the purpose of HR is to attract, develop, motivate, and retain people so the organisation can achieve its goals. Its objectives include workforce planning, recruitment, induction, training, performance management, reward, employee relations, compliance, and well-being. For example, with Tesco, link HR objectives to customer service, store productivity, and staff retention, and explain the business value of each objective, not just what the department does. For criterion 2.1, describe the operational HR functions. Recruitment and selection, including adverts, interviews, onboarding, and right-to-work checks. Training and development, from induction to management development. Payroll and reward, covering pay, benefits, holiday, and records. And employee relations, including grievances, disciplinaries, and policy communication. Use a short example from your organisation for at least 2 of these functions. For criterion 2.2, describe the strategic HR functions, workforce planning, forecasting future skills and staffing, talent management and succession planning, preparing future leaders and retaining high performers. Organisational culture, shaping values, inclusion and engagement. And change management, supporting restructuring, growth, mergers and new working models. Show how these strategic decisions support long-term business success. Criterion 2.3 asks you to assess, so you must judge the strength and importance of the relationship, not just describe it. Show how HR supports business strategy through people planning, skills, leadership, culture, and performance. For example, a cost leadership strategy needs efficient staffing and standardized training, while a differentiation strategy needs creative talent and a service culture. End with a judgment. HR is not separate from strategy. It enables the strategy to happen. A few Task 1 writing tips for a pass-level answer. Use headings that clearly match the assessment criteria. Define key terms, then explain them in your own words. Use examples from one organisation throughout. Use theory and academic sources, but don't overload the essay with quotations. And where the brief says assess, include strengths, limitations, and a reasoned judgment. Task 2 is a report covering learning outcomes 3 and 4. Compare the internal factors affecting HR and the external factors. Assess the impact of artificial intelligence and automation on HR functions. And discuss the effectiveness of flexible working, mental health programs, and diversity training. Use the same organisation where possible to keep it practical and evidence-based. Here's a practical 1,500-word report plan, a title page and brief introduction to the organisation. Section 1, the internal factors affecting HR. Section 2, the external factors. Section 3, the impact of AI and automation. Section 4, the effectiveness of flexible working, mental health and diversity initiatives. And a conclusion with clear recommendations for HR improvement. For Criterion 3.1, the internal factors. Business size and structure, since large organizations need formal HR systems. Leadership style and culture, which affect engagement and retention. Financial resources affecting pay, benefits, and training budgets, and workforce skills and demographics affecting training and succession. Compare the factors by explaining which has the strongest impact and why. For Criterion 3.2, the external factors. Employment law covering equality, health and safety, working time and dismissal. Labour market conditions such as skills shortages and competition for talent. Technology, including remote working tools, HR systems and automation. Economic conditions like inflation and cost pressure. And social expectations around well-being, flexibility, inclusion, and ethical employment. To compare factors properly, move beyond a simple list. Compare impact. Which factor creates the biggest HR risk or opportunity? Compare urgency, which needs immediate action and which is long-term. And compare controllability. Internal culture can be changed more directly than employment law or the labour market. Use phrases like more significant than, less controllable than, and stronger long-term influence. For Criterion 4.1, assess AI and automation in HR. In recruitment, applicant tracking systems, CV screening and interview scheduling. In workforce analytics, spotting absence trends, turnover risks and training needs. And in learning, personalized platforms and automated compliance records. But weigh the risks, algorithmic bias, data protection, loss of human judgment and employee trust. Assess both benefits and limitations before reaching a judgment. For Criterion 4.2, discuss flexible working. Cover forms such as hybrid and remote work, compressed hours, flexi-time and part-time. Explain the benefits, retention, recruitment appeal, work-life balance and reduced absence. And the limitations, supervision, communication, fairness between roles and performance measurement. For example, flexible working is easier for office roles than for retail, care, hospitality, or manufacturing. Still on 4.2, discuss mental health programs such as employee assistance programs, manager training, mental health first aiders, and workload reviews. Evidence their effectiveness by linking to absence reduction, morale, retention, and employee feedback. Don't claim they're effective without explaining how the business could measure that, and mention the limits, confidentiality concerns, low take-up, stigma, and lack of manager training. And finally, for 4.2, diversity training. Explain how it can support inclusion, legal compliance, fair recruitment, and workplace culture. Assess its effectiveness by considering whether it changes behaviour, improves representation, and reduces complaints. Use examples like inclusive recruitment panels and unconscious bias training, and be critical. One-off training is weak unless backed by leadership, policies, data, and accountability. Here's what strong Task 2 evidence looks like. Use HR data or public evidence where available, such as staff turnover, benefits, sustainability reports, and diversity statements. Use academic theory to explain why HR practices matter. Use tables to compare internal and external factors clearly. Use short practical examples, like this affects recruitment because, and end each major section with a judgment, not just description. On referencing, use in-text citations whenever you use ideas, facts, definitions, or statistics from a source, and add a full reference list at the end of each task. Use academic books, journal articles, CIPD materials, government guidance, and company reports. Avoid relying only on blogs, AI-generated text or unsourced websites, and reference any diagrams or tables adapted from a source. To submit, provide Task 1 as an essay and Task 2 as a report, both in Word, each with a title page, your learner details, the unit title, task number, and word count. Submit your complete work to learnerwork at ukversity.co.uk, unless your tutor gives a different route, and keep a copy, with file names that clearly show your name, the unit, and the task. A checklist before submission, every criterion covered with clear headings. Task 1 includes evolution, purpose, objectives, operational and strategic HR, and the HR strategy link. Task 2 includes internal and external factors, AI and automation, flexible working, mental health, and diversity training. Examples are linked to a real organisation, Harvard citations, and a reference list are included. And the work is proofread for structure, clarity, originality, and referral to avoid. Writing generally about HR without organisational examples. Only describing when the brief asks you to compare or assess. Missing one or more criteria. Weak referencing or references listed but not cited in the text. Copying from websites, slides, or AI without academic development. And having no clear conclusion or judgment in the assessment sections. So, what to do next? Read the assignment brief again and highlight every assessment criterion. Choose one organisation and collect reliable evidence before writing. Create your Task 1 essay plan and Task 2 report plan using the headings from this presentation. Refer to the ebooks, journals, and learning materials on Moodle for this unit, and for any queries, contact learnerwork at ukversity.co.uk. For references and further reading, use the OTHM assignment brief and learner materials, HR textbooks and journal articles, CIPD resources on HR, well-being, inclusion and technology, government employment guidance, and the annual reports and HR pages of your chosen organisation. All references must be shown in Harvard style, with in-text citations and a final reference list. A quick note. This resource was created by UK Versity Online to support your assignment discussion and learner guidance for this unit. You must still produce your own original work and meet the assessment criteria in the assignment brief. And a final note on usage. This resource may contain third-party materials included under their respective licenses, and the UK Versity name and logo are trademarks of UK Versity. With that, you're ready to plan and write your human resources assignment. Good luck.